Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am Joe, and I am streaming on a potato today. I am back home for the week, so this is like the once or twice a year you will ever see me not in my traditional background. I am here back home in New Hampshire this week. Josh and Ryan still joining me. We are now 6 weeks down through fantasy football. Week 7, oh baby, is it sure to be another letdown just like week 6 was. I don't know about everybody else, but it was by far the lowest scoring week of every league I've been in so far this year. Not just me personally. I think as a league whole, the average was much further down. So second week of bye weeks. Let's see if that continues, and let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. Joining me as always, Joshua Hudson, Ryan Weisse. Gentlemen, heidi ho. Hello, how are you?
What's up? What's up?
Heidi ho, indeed. Normally I get a chance to answer before Josh, but you saying Heidi ho threw me off my equilibrium completely.
I saw it in your face, which was
I'm in the middle of typing. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, immediate. I saw your face. So, look, I hated week 6. That was just
it was so bad.
That was atrocious. And now I didn't write down any reactions because I've been lazy and I've just completely forgotten. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I did well 2 weeks ago. I went back and found shows. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go game by game. I'm gonna give you one hit on the bullshit that was week 6.
Oh, you mean exactly what Josh wanted this segment to be in the first place, but you just never shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Joe, listen to me. That's hilarious.
Commanders Bears. It's not even about the game. It's about how Prime Video makes it seem like they've only watched pickleball recreationally at their local health center. They don't know how to broadcast football. Kirk Herbstreit's a moron. Al Michaels has lost his mind. We have a million different camera angles, and you're not going to show the back angle of the defender clearly getting his hand in the middle of Darnell Mooney catching that football? Yeah. What are we doing? Patriots, Browns. Suck it, Cleveland. Bailey Zappi. If he does, I am going to the game Monday night, and if Bailey Zappi does not start, I will walk out of the stadium. I refuse to watch Mac.
So I put this on the injury update notes because Mac Jones is still technically hurt. Albert Breer coming out saying all this tension between Mac Jones and the Patriots. I feel like this is something to pay attention to here because Zappi's moving this offense, and Mac Jones was certainly not the first few weeks of the season.
All I know is that Bailey Zappi is not looking to throw the ball 35 yards down the field on 3rd and 1. That's what I've noticed is the theme of Bailey Zappi. Yeah. Also, Rhamondre Stevenson's an absolute dog, and shout out to him.
He's going to be the Patriots starting running back next year.
Oh, shout out to him for making me look so freaking good for that take in the offseason. Shout out to him. 49ers, Falcons. I mean, the 49ers are missing their entire roster. But Marcus Mariota was still almost perfect, so good week. I called the Jets beating the Packers. You're welcome if you bet the money line on that. My unwarranted betting advice.
Packers look so bad.
Packers suck. Colts, Jaguars. It is unbelievable that the Colts can win football games. I don't understand. Michael Pittman apparently is the new Julio Jones, and Alec Pierce is Roddy White.
Yeah.
So there you go. And he's actually white. Vikings, Dolphins. I mean, it was right there, guys. It was right there. Vikings, Dolphins. It didn't feel like either of those teams deserved to win the game. That's all.
That's fair. I don't know how the Vikings don't boat race that with Skylar Thompson, and then they knock him out of the game and yada, yada, yada. So.
Yeah, I still can't believe the Vikings are 5-1.
Yeah.
5-1.
That, next to the Giants, they might be the worst 5-1 team I've ever seen.
Head to head, I take the Giants, and that's not honestly. I don't even think it's close. Head to head, I take the Giants, and it's sad to say that. Bengals Saints. Again, neither team deserved to win the game. I don't really know what to say there.
Bengals had a good fourth quarter, but yeah,
but they did. But it just, for the first 3 quarters, it was bad.
Yes.
Giants Ravens. If the Ravens are up at halftime, smash the money line of the opposing team because they have lost every single time they've been up. Smash the money line.
Yeah,
it's easy money. Fuck Tom Brady. I'm not even going to talk about the Steelers game. What the hell was that? What was that bullshit? What are we doing? Now granted, Brady is at fault for some of this, but the offensive line is
it's bad.
Trash. Like that could have been the battle of the 2 worst offensive lines in football right there.
I don't know if I wrote it or if I read it. I honestly don't remember now, but the kryptonite for a 44, 45-year-old quarterback is a bad offensive line.
Horrible offensive line. Rams Panthers, Allen Robinson, end zone.
Hey.
Congratulations. Seahawks Cardinals, another bad game.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker though.
Looks good.
Hell yeah.
Surprisingly looked way better than 7th round pick Eno Benjamin. What do you know?
Who would have thought? Bills Chiefs. Good. I thought it was a good game. Just back and forth overall. Good game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Eagles Cowboys. Congratulations, Eagles. Cooper Rush finally looked like Cooper Rush. It had to happen at some point. And Broncos Chargers. I was sitting on my couch. Let me tell you. I said a little prayer for Dustin Hopkins to miss that field goal. Just a little prayer. And also, do you know how bad the game was? They interviewed the kicker after the game.
Yeah, we know how bad the game was. Denver was a part of it.
Awkward interview, too, by the way.
You want to know why? Because Dustin Hopkins has never had an interview in his life. He's a kicker. Oh.
I just want to give myself a quick shout out on calling Melvin Gordon for 2 touchdowns and then immediately leaving the game after 1 drive.
The jinx is upon us once again. Ryan, I swear to God, I just need to know right now who you're calling for 2 touchdowns.
Didn't call it this week. I'm getting a week off.
Pussy, what are you doing?
I said last week. Melvin Gordon.
I just need you right now to start. Anytime you call somebody for 2 touchdowns, just automatically put them in your downside because that's what's going to happen.
Can I tell you who I'm playing that week in a league that I need to win and you just call them for the 2 touchdowns? I don't know if
the jinx can be bought off. I think it needs to be organic.
Fucking better be bought off. So. Dice dealer. Oh my God.
My guy.
Short bench madness continues. Sutton and Khalil Herbert are on waivers. I guess. He's the Montgomery owner, so he would need that. Drop candidates in standard scoring. Terry, DK, Brian Robinson.
I wouldn't drop any of those guys.
I don't know, with Heineke back in, I might prefer Sutton over Terry. And then I think in standard,
I prefer Terry.
Standard, I think I'd rather have B-Rob over Herbert. So
I'd rather have Robinson over Herbert. Robinson's going to be the goal line guy.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin played well with Heineke in the lineup.
You're right. Let's be clear though. What's well for Terry McLaurin is wide receiver 22. Like this is what we've been bitching about for years at this point. So
sure, that's fair. My brother, again, we're going to the game on Monday Night Football. Bears Patriots. N'Keal Harry back healthy, and he has N'Keal Harry revenge game on his calendar. So
don't we know the revenge games aren't a thing anymore?
No.
Definitely not bringing it back up in the show later on.
Nope. You want to know why? Because who just signed with the Ravens yesterday?
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
You let me finish. I said Steve Smith and Deshaun Jackson.
But no, he's bringing the magic of revenge games back to the
into the league.
Oh, okay.
The magic is now back. It's here.
Okay.
Who does
because
Baltimore
he was
play?
out, he wasn't signed. The
Cleveland.
mystique went away. That's what you're saying.
Oh, see,
Baltimore and Cleveland. No revenge this week for.
There's no revenge this week. There's definitely a 75-yard touchdown from Deshaun Jackson this week, but there is not a revenge.
I don't know if he'll be ready to go this early. I'm actually going to look at the Ravens schedule real quick though. October 27th. The Buccaneers and the Ravens right away.
Yes!
Yes. Wait. They play the NFC East this year. He'll play Philly. Because they just played the Giants. Baltimore plays Philly this year.
Nah.
Or was that the random?
That must have been the division finish game. Yeah. So
bullshit.
That is the only Deshaun Jackson.
I was about to say, I don't remember.
Dude, that would have been unreal
Baltimore
if he played the Bucks, Commanders, and Eagles all in the same year.
That would have been awesome.
I would have picked him up solely for those weeks. That's it. Elixir's fantasy team is in shambles. Starting QBs Taysom Hill. His wide receiver core is Kirk, Cooks, and Olave.
You know what, though? All you need is that Hill to Olave connection, and you got this, homie.
Olave, isn't he officially out this week?
Nope, he's back.
No,
back this week.
Back.
They ruled out Thomas.
MT and Landry.
Landry was the other guy. Okay, thank you. Will says, look at Joe back in the shower. Hi, Will. Miss you, buddy. Okay. I don't have my two screens set up, so I have to go back and forth between all this stuff.
Would you like one of us to read the injury updates?
No,
I was able to fill in a few of them.
So. No, shut up. I got it. QB controversy in New England. Mac Jones likely to get the job back. Josh brought this up, but Albert Breer is saying there's a lot of tension between Jones and the team at the moment. Bailey's happy. That's all I have to say. Arizona's wide receiver Marquise Brown, foot injury, just came out today, out indefinitely, likely a 4-week minimum. Feel like it wouldn't be surprising to see him on the short-term IR, but nothing has been made yet. Dak Prescott is activated and will likely start against Detroit. I mean, perfect timing for him because Cooper Rush looked like shit. So good time for him.
Yeah, I've got a couple Dallas fans that I work with, and I told them we did you guys a favor. Now the media will shut up and let Dak be the quarterback. Because all this, Cooper Rush should start over Dak. Nah, he's not as good. Sorry.
Now here's the thing. If Dak looks like ass against the worst defense in the NFL,
of course it's going to come up.
It's going to come up. Randall Cobb,
but they're not the worst team in the NFC. The Panthers are.
I thought Detroit was the worst. Had the highest scoring defense in the NFL. Like they allowed the most points.
Oh yeah,
they don't have the worst record.
Yeah, well, they don't have the worst record, but they have the worst defense. Cobb high ankle sprain. It's wide receiver kick returner Jamal Agnew with a knee injury.
I brought that up because Elixirs is here.
Our boy Elixirs is here.
Elixirs is here, and Jamal Agnew is the wide receiver 1 now apparently. Joe Noteboom out for the season with an Achilles injury. Kenny Pickett left with a concussion. Progressing well, should be back week 7. Cameron Brate left with a neck injury. That was a little scary on Sunday.
Yeah, it was.
But I gave the thumbs up. I believe everything's okay, at least. It's not okay, but as good as it can be, I think.
I mean, they haven't even ruled him out or anything yet, so
which is just surprising with how bad. I mean, all right, look, I have a gripe real quick because I was watching that Chargers game, and I realized something at the end when Dustin Hopkins was getting interviewed. They were talking about his hamstring. Motherfucker kicked 4 field goals on a pulled hamstring, and Keenan Allen can't run a fucking route. What are we doing for 5 weeks? To be
fair, they've already ruled out Dustin Hopkins for week 7, so
yeah.
Good. I mean, at this rate, if Dustin Hopkins kicked on a torn hamstring, he's out for the season, according to the Chargers medical staff.
I saw a tweet today that because the Chargers have a week 8 bye, that he's actually targeting week 9 for a return now.
God, let me tell you how much I love fantasy football.
I'm like, what?
Let me tell you how much I love fantasy football this year. It's so good.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about Hopkins or Keenan Allen?
No, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Oh, you've got to be shitting me.
No.
I thought we were talking about Hopkins this whole time. I'm like, who cares? Why are we doing this?
Well, you like to remind me that kickers are people too.
If
their hamstrings don't fucking matter, is that it?
I'm now off my equilibrium. I didn't realize we were talking about Keenan Allen, and it is really fucking my season up for him not to be playing. So I'm on Team Joe here. Go ahead and bitch about him, buddy.
If I told you before the season that I would have Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Jalen Waddle, and Cortland Sutton on the same team, and I told you I was 2-4 right now.
Oh, I got you beat, buddy.
I say it's such a weird season. Like
it's a terrible season. Also, I have very high hopes for Aaron Jones this week, and that's just going to punch me right in the nuts.
Don't say that because I need him to go off. But no, I got you beat. So I lost Trey Lance at quarterback. I have Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Travis frickin' Kelce, and I'm 1-5.
Okay, Kelce at 1-5 is bad. Kelce at 1-5, that's really bad. I have Noah Fant, David Njoku as my tight ends. So
I happen to have
had Njoku. I traded him for Garrett Wilson just to get some kind of targets out of the wide receiver position, and then they can't even fucking throw the football anymore.
Yeah. I happen to have glanced at this week, and my goodness, and as someone who I don't even really stream tight ends in many leagues because I don't practice what I preach and I just draft Travis Kelce. But Travis Kelce has 131 fantasy points. Zach Ertz at tight end 3 has 79 PPR fantasy points. It is ridiculous this season. Yeah. That's the 1 to 3 gap. It is just awful.
I love it. Oh, I absolutely love it.
Bonnie reminds us, if someone's in line to go off, expect the opposite this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't you fuckers saying Josh Palmer is droppable?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I'll still say he's droppable. First of all, he was not good in the first half of that game.
So. At fantasy points. I mean, with Keenan Allen's back, he's droppable. But
apparently he's never coming back.
I hate my life. Absolutely hate my life.
I'm there with you. I turned down Josh Palmer in so many trades because I'm like, no, he's trash.
Dude, your two favorite slot receivers this year, Keenan Allen, Hunter Renfrow, just not it, man. At all.
Yeah, Joe.
Okay. Keenan Allen had 64 yards in the first fucking quarter of the first game. Dude, he was on pace for like 200 yards against.
What have you done for me lately?
So, oh my God. One of my coworkers, his trade logic was, well, Keenan Allen hasn't scored 0 points since week 2. I'm like, he's been fucking injured. What do you mean he scored 0 points since week 2? It's like he's played 75 snaps a game.
Here's the thing that pisses me off. Why couldn't they have just put him on the IR? Do you know how many leagues that would have helped me in?
Yeah.
No.
At this point, yeah.
Why put him on the IR? Why would you? Why? The logic. You want to know Brandon Staley logic? Go for it on my own 28.
Did you hear? You said you watched the game. Did you hear the very first thing they said after Hopkins was hurt? It's like, well, now Brandon Staley can go for 2 every time.
I love that.
Literally the first thing the announcer said.
When they brought out Hopkins to kick the game winner, I thought they showed Brandon Staley still calling stuff like hiding his mouth on the play sheet. I'm like, there's no fucking way this idiot goes for it here. And there was like more than half of me was thinking that he was going to go for it, and that's a bad thing. And shout out Keenan Allen for tweeting out 2 weeks ago, what the fuck are we doing? Going for it on your own 35. God.
See, now we know why he's not back, because he's criticizing the head coach. So the head coach is saying, no, your hamstring is still hurt.
Listen.
Or
If
maybe
anybody
Keenan Allen just doesn't want to play with him.
If anybody can get any of the tape that I've said on Brandon Staley in front of Brandon Staley, I would be banned from the city of... Actually, I wouldn't be banned from the city of Los Angeles because all the 2 Chargers fans would be at my door banging on it. So it's incredible that game was like a home game for the Broncos.
Oh my God. There was the one play first quarter when the Broncos converted and the crowd went bananas. I was like, what is going on?
It's so confusing because when you hear booing and the Chargers are on the field doing good things, it is ass backwards. It doesn't make sense. I mean, same thing with the Rams. They can't pull anybody in that stadium. Okay, upsides. You guys suck. Just for reference. You
so bad at this.
Suck. You guys
I'm glad I came up with this idea last year to make myself look like a complete fucking idiot.
You got, again, if you added both of your guys' wins together, it's still less than mine. You suck at this. Okay.
I mean, it's not like my logic was bad with Chris Godwin. We all expected that to happen. Yeah, we all expected Tampa Bay to win that game.
Okay, can you explain your other 13 losses? Or
probably if I went back through.
Probably. Okay. Josh's picks.
If Darnell Mooney catches that ball at the end of the game, I'm right.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
That's the story of my fantasy season right now.
Strange. Josh, you were 1-2 last week. You're 4-13-1 in the season. Kittle was tight end 5 exactly.
Hey, that was the one call that I got right. I'm gonna own it.
That was your W. You got Jacoby Brissett top 12 in Baltimore. Like saying a bad quarterback inside the top 18 at that point would have been okay, but top 12, I'm proud of you. That's a loss.
Sometimes you gotta go. You gotta let them hang.
Sure. Leonard Fournette top 3 in Carolina. Tyreek Hill top 2 against Pitt. I don't think the Tyreek Hill one is that outlandish. Pittsburgh is.
That just might be our ballsiest pick of the year, though. I don't think anyone's called top 2 or top 1 yet. So good for you.
Josh has called the number 1.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did. Devontae Adams. I think I had
Devontae Adams the number 1, and he was 2 catches for 12 yards.
Oh, that was the grandma game.
Yeah.
So this will be a Jalen Waddle game. Watch.
It better fucking be because he's in my lineup. I am playing an 0-6 team, and if I lose,
It'll be 1-7 or 1-6.
Dude, I will be fucking angry. I'll be 2-5. Ugh, terrible. I'm most interested in Brissett. Fournette against Carolina. Okay. He's been fantastic. Tyreek Hill obviously is just they're down so often and their running game is just ineffective that they just realize we should just throw to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So those are pretty even. Jacoby Brissett coming off a bad week. He had a decent week against the Chargers 2 weeks ago, but he's going against Baltimore. Why do you like him? Top 12.
Well, I mean, it really just boils down to Baltimore can't get anything done on defense right now. They're playing the run okay. They're pretty middle of the road at allowing fantasy points to running backs. But the one thing that I found really interesting before you even get to the pros of the matchup for Brissett, Nick Chubb in his entire career has never, he averages 71 yards over his last 6 games against Baltimore. And he scored 2 touchdowns in 5 games, and both of them came in the same game. He's very
not good
hit or
against
miss.
Baltimore.
Yeah, he's very hit or miss against Baltimore. And if there's one thing we've seen with this Browns offense in 2022, it runs through Nick Chubb. So if Chubb can't get going against Baltimore, what's that going to do? It's going to lead towards Brissett throwing the football. And Baltimore can't rush the passer. They brought in Jason Pierre-Paul to help rush, and he's done little to nothing to help. On the season, they have the 7th worst pressure rate on opposing quarterbacks. And over the last 3 weeks, they're the 4th worst. That's with JPP. They allow the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. All Brissett has to do, 250, 2 touchdowns. Yep. I think that's within the realm of possibility against the worst defense to fantasy quarterbacks.
I feel like the number's inflated because of Tua and his 6 touchdowns.
I mean, potentially, sure.
So
but
the fantasy points allowed number might be inflated, but all in all, they're still.
All in all, they're bad. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're good.
No, I mean 469 or whatever it was to Tua, sure, that plays into it, but
they
still allowed 170 plus fantasy points on the season to quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a lot.
They gave up.
So that's another. That's 120 plus fantasy points to 5 other quarterbacks. That's still not very good. That's 25 a game.
Oh yeah,
give or take.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, Ryan. I mean, we shouldn't even listen to you at this point. You are 0-6 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
0 for 3. 3 for 15 on the season.
It's rough. It's hard in these streets.
Yeah, really, really hard in the streets. Ryan, your picks that no one should pay attention to. Aaron Rodgers top 10 against the Commanders. That will be his first top 10 appearance of the season if he hits it. Yep. Zeke and Pollard both score 10 plus against Detroit. And T. Higgins outscores Jamar Chase against the Atlanta Falcons. I would like you to discuss Aaron Rodgers.
I thought that might be it. Because here's the thing. It's a little bit easier when there's only 28 quarterbacks playing versus 32. But 7th most points given up on the year are the Washington Commanders. 23 points per game. 4 quarterbacks have hit 20 plus points against them. As you said, it would be the first time this entire season for Rodgers. He has hit 220 yards straight for 5 straight games. He just needs to hit 3 touchdowns, which Washington has already allowed twice. So I'm really just banking on the fact that Washington's going to be bad. And for as much as we like Taylor Heineke, he's a garbage time quarterback. He's going to turn the ball over for 3 quarters. I really like Green Bay's defense in this one. I do expect the running game to get back on track, but I also think it's going to be Aaron Jones involved in the passing game a little bit more. So this is really more about disliking the Washington Commanders as a team and as a defense than actually liking Aaron Rodgers. But the long and short of it is, if Jared Goff can go 256-4, Aaron Rodgers has some room to show up here. Even Cooper Rush hit him for 223-2.
The thumb injury bother you at all?
Not really. I mean, as long as he's playing through it, I'm not all that concerned. It's not like he's out there firing the ball right now this season anyway. So
no, not at all. I will go through mine, and then we'll get to some of these questions I see from Elixirs and SH7. I have Josh Jacobs top 3 against Houston. Also, I was 2-1 last week, 8-10 in the season. Again, I'm the only one.
Listen to Joe when it comes to upsides.
Yeah, I'm the only one to really listen to in this segment. I don't feel too confident about Aaron Jones top 10, but again, the Commanders don't have a great defense, so that's why.
And this is why I asked about the thumb injury, because if that injury is bothering Rodgers enough, they might just hand the ball to Jones and Dillon the entire game.
Well, here's the thing. They're not going to win a football game until they run 40% of their plays through Aaron Jones.
At least 40%.
Like they need to run through Aaron Jones, pass through Aaron Jones. He is their number one threat by a mile, and they have not used him enough this year.
I think one of the advantages they may have going into this game, Aaron Jones being, is that Washington's actually surprisingly good against the tight end. So you'll finally have a team that's going to shut down or slow down, hopefully, Robert Tonyan. Tonyan had 12 targets last week. If half of those can just find their way to Aaron Jones, the whole world is happy at that point. So.
Cool. And I have Noah Fant top 8 against the Chargers.
This is the one I'd like you to talk about because, I mean, I understand. I hate calling anything when it could be one of two players from the same team because there's always the right process, wrong player result.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Fant has had 40 yards each of the last 2 weeks, and I believe he's had over 5 receptions the last 2 weeks, something like that. He's been up there in terms of, again, not like Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, but he's been up there in terms of a guy you could pick up off the waiver wire and play as your tight end. I played him last week. He had a good week. He had double-digit points, which we all know that is top 10 for tight end every single week, and he didn't score a touchdown. He played against a bad defense in Arizona. I mean, the number one option or the number one scoring player for the Denver Broncos was a tight end against the Chargers this past week. Yes, Derwin James does cover the tight end well, but in no way, shape, or form is Noah Fant going to get Derwin James' attention in this game. It is going to be DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett getting the attention over the top. And I think Derwin James is going to be more concerned about hitting the box with Kenneth Walker. Noah Fant has seemed to be a good safety net. I think Will Dissly's their big play guy, and I think Fant is their safety net. All I need from him is literally 5 catches for 50 yards, and he probably cracks the top 8.
I'd say that's fair, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I've been erring on the side of the two players the one that would score the touchdown, and so it sounds like you're going to chase the volume at this point. Okay, that's fair.
I think the volume.
I'll point out to this really quick, Joe, before you continue. Let's not forget Noah Fant used to play for Denver. He knows LA really well. 3 of his last 4 games, he's had 6 or more receptions and 47 or more yards, and he scored in his last appearance or last game against the Chargers. So.
Against the Chargers.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. But now I understand the numbers you're throwing out here.
With fucking Drew Lock as his quarterback. So
yeah,
there you go.
All right, Elixirs, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks in a standard. I'm going Cooks. Josh?
Yeah, I think I would go Cooks here. I mean, honestly, I don't love either, mostly just because I don't know how Samuel is going to go with Heineke. I feel like with the younger, inexperienced guys, they're just going to key in on one guy, and we've seen Heineke do that with McLaurin in the past, so that kind of leaves me thinking that Samuel is going to be the odd person out. So I think I would probably go Cooks here.
My exact thought process is if this was definitely Carson Wentz, it's a little bit closer for me. But with it being Heineke, I just don't know what that offense is going to look like there. And Samuel is still 14 points ahead of Cooks in standard scoring on the season, but that's a really good season for Samuel and a really bad season for Brandon Cooks thus far. And you have to think regression to the mean. You're going to see better from Brandon Cooks as the season progresses. So give me Brandon Cooks.
Pitts or Taysom Hill rest of season. Elixirs, we don't answer rest of season questions. But if it's rest of season, it's Kyle Pitts. I'm not trusting that fucking running back that plays tight end.
So here's my thing. I'm not necessarily going to cut Pitts to go get Taysom Hill. If I have both on my roster and I can keep both on my roster, I'm making this decision in a league. I'm starting Taysom Hill over Kyle Pitts until further notice. There is upside with one that the other one doesn't have. I'm actually going to start. I've made this decision. I'm going to start Taysom Hill in any league where I don't have Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce. He has more upside than any other tight end in fantasy football because he's not a tight end. It's bullshit, but I'm going to play by the rules that are afforded to me.
I mean, that's fair. The answer is still Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, a elite tight end, has had 2 games over 20 points in the last 2 years. So has Taysom Hill. Kyle Pitts has never scored 30-plus fantasy points in a game. Taysom Hill just did.
Well, that's because Taysom Hill plays running back and quarterback. So.
Exactly. I don't care. Do I agree with it? No. I've said this on the show numerous times. Taysom Hill should not be coded as a tight end. But you have to take cheat codes when they're giving to you, and that's what he is right now. He could dud, but guess what? I don't think you need to say
he didn't even get 5 points last week.
While last week Kyle Pitts did Kyle Pitts in the first 3 weeks of the season? Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying.
13.7 in week 3, you bitch.
Kyle Pitts has 2 games with 2.9 fantasy points or whatever the hell it is, or
3.9, you bitch.
Yeah. Get him.
I don't know. All I know, I watched. I was going to be livid if Mariota didn't throw to him on that slant route for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Safety drops in, very clearly playing the box, and Pitts is one-on-one. Pitts beat him immediately off the line. Yep. And it took Mariota a good 1.5 seconds. One-on-one coverage at the bottom. I should have just thrown that immediately. God. Would y'all trade Breece Hall for Waddle and Zeke in a full PPR? I would. Josh?
I would not. Running back production is so fucking scarce right now, and Breece Hall is one of the few good ones, and I want that.
He's one of the good ones. Ryan?
I think I'd trade... I don't trade running backs for wide receivers, but I damn near might consider Hall for Waddle alone. I think Zeke makes up for it, though. Hall's at, 83 points through 6 games? Zeke? I mean, it's 30-point deficit. Now I'm starting to lean no. This is an ugly one.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm on the Jalen Waddle train, and I have...
I love Jalen Waddle. I really do. Don't get me wrong. I have Waddle in quite a few leagues. But a lot of that production is inflated from that one game against Baltimore, too.
Yeah. I'll be the asshole and say it depends on who you have to cut. I'm probably making this trade unless I have to cut somebody good. So.
Okay. Another trade question. Tron, Amon-Ra and Aaron Jones for Swift in London. I wouldn't. Josh?
I would prefer Amon-Ra here.
Yeah, I want the left side. I'm on Ron AJ.
Yeah, you have, Aaron Jones and Swift. Swift is obviously, he actually might be the most productive running back in the NFL this year in terms of what he's done on his touches.
Yeah.
In terms of yards per touch. But also you have the healthier Aaron Jones. You have to believe that Aaron Jones is not going to be like this the rest of the season. And Amon-Ra St. Brown at this point wipes the floor with all of them.
Yeah, let's preface this really quick. We're assuming PPR because that's just kind of what we do with everything around here at Club Fantasy. If this is standard, does that change?
Not at all.
No, Aaron Jones has the higher touchdown upside with Jamal Williams.
And Amon-Ra has the yardage upside like crazy. So
over Drake London, yeah. Okay. Another trade question. Brian Robinson and Kareem Hunt for ETN. Might as well just
go. I would take B-Rob and Kareem Hunt here.
If you can turn one mediocre running back into 2 mediocre running backs, do it.
Right?
You want the depth.
Give me the depth.
Yeah, I would
give me the depth at that point.
I would go Brian Robinson and Kareem Hunt that side. I mean, JaMychal Hasty's getting more touchdowns than both Etienne and James Robinson. Oh my God,
it was one fucking play.
Oh, and you know what I found hilarious? He had like 2 or 3 rushes the rest of the game and was -3 yards on those rushes.
Yep.
So hilarious.
It was literally the fantasy gods spiting every one of us.
I hate my life. Brock Gussie Goose was, I don't know how to say it. So fellas, need a trade from my running back group from wide receiver. Top running backs are Saquon, Mixon, Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker. Receivers are D-Hop, Jacoby Myers, Dubs, Mooney, and DJ Moore. Trade Breece and Dubs for Olave and AJ Brown in a PPR. I don't think anybody would take that trade personally.
No, I don't trade running backs for wide receivers.
I don't typically, but here's where I'm prefacing this. You have Saquon, you have Mixon, you have Ramondre, and Kenneth Walker. You have basically 4 RB1s there. You can afford to lose Breece Hall in this instance.
That's fair.
And you get a wide receiver 1 in AJ Brown.
See if they'll take Mooney instead of Dubs. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't know that I care for Dubs that much more, but yeah, and you definitely need wide receiver help. Okay, Josh, you're right. I didn't pay attention to the absolute stacked box he has at running back.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the few times I would ever consider that.
The one thing I'll throw out, I still just have it in my head that Kenneth Walker may not be able to take this full workload. So maybe Walker instead of Breece Hall if they'll take the trade.
He does mention he has to start 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 flex. So really, he only needs 2 starting wide receivers.
Okay.
I mean, I think if you believe in DeAndre Hopkins, I think you can get away with D-Hop and Jacoby and keep your running backs.
I think you just trade Breece Hall for a receiver straight up.
Well, no.
That too.
No, I would take this trade if you're going to do that. Olave has a top 20 upside and AJ Brown has a top 1 upside. We just need to see more of it.
Ryan, I want you to answer me this. I want you to answer me this right now in this situation. If someone offered you Breece Hall and Romeo Dubs for Chris Olave and AJ Brown, you'd laugh them in their face. That's 2 top 25 wide receivers. You're getting a dude.
So I'm assuming he has this trade done already.
So no, I think he's going to offer it. If you have that trade locked in, do it. But
yeah, go get Olave and Brown.
Yeah, go get them. But again, me personally, I don't know if people have these already out or they're just asking would this be a good trade? For you, that's a great fucking trade. I just don't think the other person would accept.
I always assume they have the offer and they're debating it. So I don't go. I take it a step in already.
That's fair. I mean, if that trade's on the table, it's Olave and AJ Brown. That's not even the question. If you haven't offered it,
get it, Brock.
He already offered it.
Hit accept, baby.
He offered you. What is happening in this world? 2 top 25 wide receivers for a pile of shit in Breece Hall. What are we doing?
Because here's the thing, Josh. It really just flips him where now he can start Hop, Jacoby, and those 2 wide receivers. Not that he's going to, because he can still start 4 running backs. Yeah, make that trade. I'm sorry that I was
100% you make that trade.
Yeah, because now you can play some matchups here. Because let's stop and think here. I mean, if once Damian Harris does come back, we're not going to get peak RB1, ceiling RB1 ceiling with Ramondre. He's still going to be good.
Yeah.
But in that instance, you're looking at matchups there, right?
Well, you're looking at 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs to make 6 picks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, if Darnell Mooney and DJ Moore get their shit together, how great are you looking at that point? So.
Sam Darnold activated off the IR. Let's go. Elixir, he has Olave, so I can double jeopardy with Hill tight end eligibility. His team's 1-5, so he needs wins pretty bad. I mean,
or you could just stick with Pitts. I like how you said that sentence because you're like, I could do something that could help me win, or I could stick with Kyle Pitts and just fucking lose every week.
Look, if you want the all wild card team, my personal suggestions would be Taylor Heineke, J.D. McKissick.
You think McKissick's still a play? I've been wondering about that. I haven't dug.
That's what I'm saying. This is the all wild card team. Taysom Hill is on the all wild card team. Curtis Samuel's on the all wild card team. I mean, at this point,
I just can't. I don't think you can throw McKissick out there anymore because it seems very likely Brian Robinson's going to take over the runner role and AG is going to take over the McKissick role. I think McKissick's the odd man out here.
Isaiah Pacheco.
That's a fun one.
Is it fun though? Is it fun?
Yeah.
No,
his last name's Pacheco. It just makes it fun.
Sure. Daniel Jones or waiver this week?
Certainly waiver. No. I'm against Daniel Jones. I looked at him for the stream of the week top 5 and did not find a way to put him on the list. I would start either healthy Pittsburgh quarterback over Daniel Jones this week.
Interesting.
There you go. If you are a Javonte owner in a dynasty PPR, what are you doing with him?
I can actually answer this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I recently traded Javonte Williams in a dynasty PPR league.
I'll let Josh have it because I never have any good picks to get these good running backs.
So I'm sitting currently at 5-1. It's a dynasty super flex. My starting running backs were basically Javonte, Breece Hall, and the only other viable running back I had, and I used this term very loosely, was Cam Akers to start the season. Outside of that, it was a lot. Exactly. To be fair, I traded him in a deal that I traded away Antonio Gibson, so it wouldn't have worked out much better. But I ended up, since I'm 5-1, I'm like, all right, I got to make a play. I got to get some running backs. I used Javonte and a second-round pick, and I got Leonard Fournette, Miles Sanders, and Latavius Murray.
That'll work.
So I think there's still people out there that are going to view Javonte as a viable top 12 dynasty running back. And they're going to offload some of these veterans that you can fill in some of these spots. Now, granted, I also in this same league have Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts, and I can't give away Kyle Pitts, and he's supposed to be the dynasty tight end too.
I saw a guy get Zeke, McLaurin, and a couple of early picks for Javonte. So those are the kind of trades you're going to get, or the older superstar. Now, like Josh got a really good deal, but they're not all going to be that great. So,
well, but even then, like, you know, I was trying to get Rashad White in the deal initially, and I offered Christian Watson to kind of trade like a younger player for a younger player just to be able to protect myself against, you know, Fournette being a little older. And obviously, you know, we know about the weight issues and we just know that it's going to come crashing down eventually. But, you know, Miles Sanders is a free agent next year. He's probably not going to have much value after this year. So like, this is me saying, you know what, I'm going for it. Like that's kind of, you know, what you do in this instance. Outside of that, I think if you're kind of in a position to where you need to just hang on to him because you have maybe a younger team, just do it. Like that's kind of the way that I would look at it. Or try to get like, you know, maybe a veteran wide receiver that you could package him with, maybe throw in a, you know, like a second round pick or something on top of him to,
I was gonna say,
bring in like a Tyreek Hill or something.
So he's 3-3. I guess, Carrington, you got to ask yourself, is the deal you're going to make you a championship contender? Because if I'm giving up Javonte Williams, it's not about making the playoffs. It's about winning the championship this year. And so if the deal you're going to make isn't going to make you a championship contender, just hold Javonte because he is going to be the better play in the long run. So,
okay.
I also think you're running into a J.K. Dobbins situation where he gets hurt year 2 of his career. Everything starts slow year 3. I wouldn't be shocked if Baltimore doesn't pick up Dobbins. Oh, no, he was a second round pick anyway. It's going to be the same situation. Like these guys need to pop in year 4. That's a long time for a running back. Now, granted, Javonte came into the league at 21, so he's on the younger side, but there's still going to be a lot of questions there.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you say,
especially with an elite free agent running back class and a potentially even more elite rookie running back class coming in.
Oh, he actually has offer.
Speaking of the rookie running back class, he has 2 offers. Give up Breece and Brian Robinson for A.J. Brown and Pitts, or give up Breece Hall for DK in a first-round pick next year. Do you entertain any of those? I personally don't. I think you have Breece Hall and you keep him. Unless you feel there's a running back that will be better than Breece Hall in the first round next year.
I was going to say, I think we can all say no to the A.J. Brown Pitts trade.
Yeah, the only one that's enticing is the one with the first round pick next year. But also, if that team is really good and they're going to be a bottom half of the first round, you're not getting a Bijan Robinson.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless there's a chance that first round pick is like top 3. I'm probably not doing either of these. Now,
or
again,
if it's 3 and 3. Flex.
If it's super flex,
the first becomes a lot more valuable because there's going to be a lot of guys. You're
going to have more position players that'll get pushed down towards the latter part. But I think even then, here's the thing with me, and this is kind of where I'm at when it comes to these like dynasty trades. Anytime you're hanging on to these young running backs,
it's not super flex.
Okay, it's not super flex. All right, so I'm not entertaining any of these.
Yeah, I'm not making
I'll leave it at that. But I'll real quick, I'll just kind of continue what I was saying. When it comes to these young running backs, if you need to have a competing window within 4 years of having them.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're completely wasting them. So I would go out and get the younger wide receivers, use them to get the Chase, the Jeffersons, the T. Higgins, or, some of these other elite young wide receivers that are showing that they are elite. Jalen Waddle, guys like that. Because if you're not using them in a championship window, you're completely wasting their valuable years. And by valuable years, I'm not necessarily meaning the points that they're getting you, but the long-term value they can bring to your teams.
In that situation, doesn't that reopen the door to the first pick? You have A.J. Brown, who's going to be tied to Jalen Hurts for foreseeably the next 4 years, and then Kyle Pitts, who hopefully when they have a competent quarterback is going to pop, and they both have more longevity than Breece Hall.
He has Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins here.
Yeah, this team shouldn't be 3-3 then. So I'm hanging on to Breece Hall.
Yeah, no, I think the hold on Breece Hall is where it's at.
But I would definitely look to move Javonte to try to get some veterans to that can kind of boost your running back room.
Yeah. Any point stashing Jameson Williams in a redraft? I think.
Yes.
I'm telling everybody, and I'm telling everybody who has an IR to go to add this guy. If you have an IR, Jameson Williams, I went and added him in 2 or 3 leagues today. And in the leagues where I couldn't add Jameson Williams, I added Kieran Williams because I wanted a rookie who I could put on IR with the last name Williams. Those are my requirements.
Interesting. Okay. One more from Brock. He says he got offered Keenan Allen for DeAndre Hopkins. Herbert is his quarterback. Do they pair him up? He's worried about health.
At this point, I'm riding D-Hop. It sounds like Keenan Allen's out for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. Give me D-Hop here. I don't want to. I'm all about pairing up, but right now that Keenan Allen's not the one that I want.
And Josh, you've kind of been the one who pointed this out to me, or it was probably both of you guys, and I actually gave this advice to someone today. I don't like trading just my shitty wide receiver for your shitty wide receiver. If they want your D-Hop, make them at least give you something else. And I'm not calling Keenan Allen shitty. It's just a shitty situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Apples to apples, healthy, I do want Keenan Allen, especially if I have Justin Herbert. But I would want them to give me something else to make this trade happen.
Dice Dealer brought up he is the ARSB owner, so he would be stashing Jameson Williams on the IR with ARSB in the lineup. I don't think it matters.
Trade bait.
Yeah, to me it doesn't. Yep. But also I am curious what your trade deadline is.
I was just going to say, I said trade bait, but I expect Williams to come back around week 10 or week 11 based on everything I'm hearing right
now. So it depends. Yeah, and a lot of like fantasy football trade deadlines I'm noticing are in like the week 10, 11 range.
Well, I'll throw this at you. I'm relatively sure if you play on ESPN, I don't know what system you play on. I don't think ESPN forces you to take people out of your IR. So you could just store him there until he's good.
They don't. I've had Rashad Bateman in my IR the last 2 weeks, and he had the Q tag on him. They don't force you. So
that's a nice little cheat on ESPN. Yep. Just put him there and leave him there.
Yeah. Okay. Into the downsides. We're going to fly through these real quick here. Josh, you were 2-0-1 last week. Akers was ruled out early, so that was a tie. You have Zach Ertz outside of the top 12 against New Orleans. They allow the second fewest fantasy points to tight ends. I think we've brought that up over the last few weeks.
We mentioned it last week when I had Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
As not top 15, I think, and that was one of my wins last week. So
Hurst, I like this week. So
hey, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, hooray! Cortland outside the top 36 against the Jets. Facts. And Jonathan Taylor outside the top 20 against the Titans. The reason for optimism after Deion Jackson's RB1 performance last week, right? Lost to a dude who picked up Deion Jackson with like 20 minutes left before kickoff, and he got 28 points in his flex.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, terrible. So, anyone that you want to expound on? I feel like
I'll touch on Jonathan Taylor because I feel like a lot of people, again, as I mentioned in that first bullet point, like you see Deion Jackson, you see his usage, especially in the passing game. You're running to go start Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has never rushed for 70 yards against the Titans.
He's bad against the Titans.
He kind of like Nick Chubb against Baltimore. So, and the Titans have had a week to prepare. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is fully healthy. I still think they're going to like slowly kind of ramp him up. I think he'll ultimately play this week. But even if he's like full good to go, his snap shares still aren't like 70, 80, 90%. They're still sitting in the 50 to 60 range. So if he's not efficient and getting, big chunk yards. Oh, God.
Don't block it. Don't block it. 3 girls in your city.
Don't bring that stuff up. Yes. What are you doing?
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Good Lord.
Guys, I blocked it. Sorry. It was funny. It was actually like a decent one. It wasn't like someone speaking in like a random language.
Stop.
Listen.
Stop.
You're telling me that on Instagram you don't get grouped up with these other 300 other random accounts?
That's really weird. I'll never understand that stuff. Anyway, back to my Jonathan Taylor point because you're throwing me off on a tangent here.
Oh, it's hilarious. Sorry.
Tennessee pass defense is what's really bad, and Matt Ryan has thrown for 37 or more passes each of the last 4 games. So
7th most passing yards in NFL history, son.
I don't think anyone's asking.
Indy on the season, Indy has thrown 60.6% of the time. And that's not including the dropbacks when they were sacked.
The important question, which is, which city were these 3 girls in? Which one of our cities?
Oh, my God. Stop, Ryan. Good Lord.
Ryan is asking the tough ones.
I'd say this is a family show, but as many F-bombs as we drop in a given episode.
This is 100% a fucking family show. What are you talking about?
Fuck them kids.
You can easily sit around the TV.
What happens when we entertain spam? I don't like it.
That was fucking funny. Shut up. On to the next one. Ryan, you're 1-2 last week. Again, just still terrible. 9-8-1 on the season. You are above 500 on this one. I will give you that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have Derek Carr's below 15 fantasy points against Houston. I'm okay with that. I'm sitting him. That's totally fine. No Arizona running back gets 10 fantasy points against the Saints. You've been pretty good about those ones in terms of getting those right. Yep. And TJ Hawkinson outside the top 10 against Dallas. I mean, I feel like Hawk isn't surprising. Arizona running backs isn't surprising. Go Derek Carr here. I would like to know about that one because Houston is particularly not good. So
they actually give up the 7th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks, and they're only averaging on 14 points per game on average. 3 quarterbacks have scored below 14 points against them. But way more importantly, Josh Jacobs should absolutely smash. And I think Dameon Pierce also smashes. And this is going to be a game where they're going to run the ball quite a bit. I don't think they're going to need Derek Carr much in this game. So Derek Carr has only been under 14 points, and he was under 11 points. And that was against one time, and it was against Denver in week 4, another team that would rather run the ball and play a slow offense. Now, I don't think we expected Denver to play the slowest fucking offense known to mankind, but they are, and it worked really badly for Derek Carr, and I think that's the sort of thing we're going to see in this game. I think you're going to see a ton of Josh Jacobs. Josh and I were in negotiations this week and called Josh Jacobs a league winner, and he's absolutely right because they're just not letting anyone else touch the ball there. So I just don't think they're going to need Carr to do much in this game. I actually really like their defense in this game, even though the Raiders defense has been absolute trash this season, but I like them this week. But all in all, I just don't think they need to lean Derek Carr. I think you're going to see a big running back game, a game that's the first game that's over this week.
Josh McDaniels off a bye too. Normally the teams he's coached have been very well coming off a bye. So if you want to add that in.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. I was 1-2 last week, 10-7-1 on the season. Russell Wilson was QB 15 exactly. So I got that one wrong by 1. You couldn't have sucked just a little more, Russ, like you have been this whole fucking year. I have Kenyon Drake outside of the top 15 against Cleveland.
So brave.
Very brave. Let me tell you how brave it is.
I added that one.
I know you did because I didn't. So
yeah, this is another one of my spike picks. Kenyon Drake's just not good. So
yeah.
Well, he had a good week. He had a good week last week.
You have him outside of the top 50. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I'm just busting balls.
That's what this was. God, it was my spike pick. I do these all the time.
Yeah, it was like Josh brought up with Drake last week. Is with J.K. Dobbins. How long are they going to coddle him? Josh brought this up on Monday. How long are they going to coddle him? What's exactly wrong with J.K. Dobbins? So if they were to go into this game full Kenyon Drake, I completely get where you're coming from.
And that I just pump the brakes. It's still Kenyon Drake. Pump the brakes.
Oh
yeah. That is 100% what this is. That's 100% what this is.
Okay.
And now I was going to switch this one because I believe Marshawn Lattimore has been ruled out.
Yes.
Fuck it, we ball. DeAndre Hopkins outside the top 24 against the Saints. Definitely going to be wrong.
Hey,
but
he's been counting down the minutes until he puts himself back in his fantasy lineup. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. This makes up for the Kenyon Drake pick, so I'm with it.
Yeah, look, this was pre-Marshawn Lattimore. Then I think I saw like 2 hours after I inputted it that they announced Marshawn Lattimore out. So that hurt. But
yeah.
we'll say, hey, you never know. You never know.
Sure.
Did Jamar Chase get 2 touchdowns? Did DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett both have their fair share of like 100 yards? Yeah.
Did either of them miss the first 6 weeks of the season?
Exactly. Does it matter? Is Paulson Adebo terrible? Irrelevant.
I'm trying to help your point here, Joe.
Did Tyrann Mathieu forget how to tackle?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, he did. Does any of that shit matter?
No. Outside of the top 24.
Outside of the top 24. I have Breece Hall outside the top 15 against Denver.
This one was interesting.
Name me, what's the one good thing about Denver this year?
Their
defense, and that's it.
And then there's the absolutely puzzling passing to running backs or lack thereof that is the New York Jets. I just don't understand how you go
they were
from
firing
10
on all
targets to 2.
cylinders the first 4 weeks of the season. The last 2, Breece Hall's got 2 catches, I think.
He found the end zone last week though on a catch, right? Or was that on a run?
Let me pull it up.
Great question.
Yeah, well, he Lambo leaped. I'm pretty sure that was a dump off, but it could have been a run. I could be wrong. I mean, the Jets defense showed up last week. That's what won them that game. It was a run.
Stand corrected. He has 2 targets and 2 catches in each of the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Still not great. Not something you would love to see.
I mean, granted, he has more. 105 yards over those 2 games, but
I think that Denver's defense is going to hold up. Eckler had a decent game. He didn't have a great game. He had a lot of dump offs, but he wasn't running well. And very clearly showing the last 2 weeks, I don't think the Jets are going to dump off. But then again, they've been all over the fucking place this season with their offense. So I'm betting on Alex Singleton having another 21 tackle game. Only guy who had Alex Singleton in their top 10 before the season at linebacker. You're welcome, people. And shout out Nate. He called Alex Singleton last week as a linebacker to play. He's a linebacker 1 last week. So shout out to Nate Markham for that pick. Yeah, I don't think Breece Hall plays well. It is in Mile High. And what have I always said about rookies playing in Mile High for their first time? I don't like it. I do not like them going up into Mile High. So I have Breece Hall outside of the top 15. And we'll get to one question before we wrap up totally. George Cook got offered Brady and Devontae for Burrow and A.J. Brown. So he would be getting Brady and Devontae.
You're giving up the 2 best pieces here in Burrow and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I'm not relying on Tom Brady under any circumstance this season.
No,
I'd be okay if someone looked at me and said, well, I'd like Devontae more than A.J. Brown. Totally fair. That's fine.
100%.
Brady is not Brady might be and this is weird to say. he might be a bottom third of the league quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And that part is on Brady, but a good 70% chunk of that is on his interior offensive line that can't block for him. If there's one thing you want good in a Tom Brady offense, this is it. It's the blocking. Left guard, center, and right guard. Your tackles could suck, but what does Tom Brady do? Steps up in the pocket. So if your interior linemen are good, Brady's going to find freaking, give me a bullshit wide receiver he's thrown to over his career. Scotty Miller. He's going to find Scotty Miller somewhere in downfield. Oh, Cyril Grayson. He'll find Cyril Grayson 35 yards down the field as long as he has an interior. Shaq Mason has looked terrible this year, which kind of sucks. He's a great run blocker. Pass blocking has always been his suspect side, but he's looked way worse than usual. Brady, I don't like. I think he's a bottom third of the league quarterback right now. That's unfortunate to say, but
yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah. Ryan, sponsor reads to you. Stream of the week.
Let's do it. Stream of the week brought to you by Connect Go. If you are not familiar with Connect Go, if you're absolutely new to the show, because we've been talking about it for weeks now, check the links in the description. That is an app you're going to find on Apple and Android, where you are able to connect with some of your favorite fantasy analysts. Jorge from our show, the IDP show, and from Fantasy and Frames, myself, Stepmom Lauren, a bunch of folks over there who are ready to help you win some fantasy championships this year. For a small fee, you can connect with us either through text message or even set up video calls, and we're there to help you with waiver questions, trade questions, one-on-one personalized fantasy advice at Connect Go. Check the links in the description. Stream of the week quarterback is going to be Trevor Lawrence at home against the New York Giants. Basically, I'm expecting the inevitable collapse of the New York Giants. They are actually the 11th worst, as in they're not allowing a lot of points for fantasy quarterbacks right now, but it's still around 17 points per game. But more importantly, Ryan Tannehill and Aaron Rodgers, who have not looked good this season, went for 202 against them. I don't think it's going to be a big problem for Trevor Lawrence to at least match that. He was the QB5 last week and hit 27 fantasy points, and that was in a loss. I think you're going to see Jacksonville bounce back at home in this one. Joe mentioned this guy earlier. Hayden Hurst is a guy we seem to all like at tight end this week. And the magic of Deshaun Jackson back into the league. The revenge game is back in the league. Atlanta's giving up the fourth most fantasy points to tight ends right now. They're allowing 7 for 73 yards and 17 fantasy points to the position, which is absolutely insane. 6 tight ends have already hit 9+ against them, and Hurst has 3 games of 9+. Plus, he scored a touchdown in 2 of his last 3 games. A lot of things working in Hayden Hurst's favor here. After a complete dud on defense last week with the Cleveland Browns, the worst gut call in the history of gut calls. My apologies to Bailey Zappi. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos this week, who, first of all, can't believe they are available in 50% of fantasy leagues. I think it has to do with everybody is really down on their offense and don't realize that the defense is actually playing really well. They have scored 5+ fantasy points in 5 of 6 games this year. And then when you're looking at them playing the New York Jets, who have been off on, as Joe's already told you why he thinks Breece Hall is going to get slowed down. The Jets have allowed 6 fantasy points on average to defenses, and they've twice allowed 10+ this season. It's in Mile High, and that was one of the biggest deciding factors for me to choose the Denver Broncos this week. So there you have it. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, Hayden Hurst at tight end, and the Denver Broncos defense, who should not be available in 50% of fantasy leagues.
Throwback to preseason when all you guys laughed at me, and I said Hayden Hurst will be relevant this year.
Yeah. I had my buddy who's a big Bengals fan was preaching the same thing, so clearly I should listen to the smart people in my life. Actually, I think you guys did talk it up. I think I got him up to like tight end 11 by the time the season was ready to start.
Oh, I didn't know that, but props to you. Yeah. Okay.
I had him at tight end 23, so not great.
You also had Cole Kmet with 101 targets, so shut the fuck up.
I dropped that quite a bit, actually. Well, it's 93, but still.
To 93? Josh, he's going to have to play 7 seasons in the NFL
Dude,
to get 93
you know what?
targets.
Nobody thought their passing volume would be this bad.
Oh, no.
We all said it would be bad. This bad is far and above what anybody thought.
Oh, yeah. This is way worse.
This is Armageddon level bad, all right?
This is Justin Fields needs other NFL quarterbacks to get injured for him to still be in the top 32 of pass attempts.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah,
which
that's bad.
He might drop out of after the next 2 weeks because
I was gonna say, just keep running that ball, young man. That's what fantasy teams who are using you like mine, and it's a 32 team league, so I have no choice.
Was Fields top 12 last week? Did I miss on that one, or did I hit that one? Because I'm pretty sure I had Fields top 12, and I was very excited, and I'm pretty sure he hit it.
Yes, he was QB 12 on the nose.
Suck it. Let's go.
Got it.
Suck it.
Yeah, the one you missed on was Jacoby Myers, top 24.
Oh, yeah. Rip. Dang. I mean, hey, apparently when you don't play press coverage on Devontae Parker, he can just win jump balls. So, shout out Devontae. Real quick before we get to my P corner, Dice Dealer, start to Olave, ARSB, DK, and Scary Terry. Let's assume it's a PPR. Josh?
First two. Olave. Same round.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm blanking. Who is Seattle playing?
They Dallas. Are in. Nope. They're
that's Detroit.
In LA against the Chargers.
Oh, yeah. Give me the first two. Olave and Sun God.
Man, I hate Thursday night. Yeah, Olave, ARSB. Oh, it's standard. Does that change it? I forgot Dice Dealer is a standard guy. Okay. If you want the higher touchdown upside, I think J.C. Jackson's an absolute bum this year, so I'm good with DK Metcalf.
Who would you replace him for, Joe? Because I'm wondering the same. Because you would get away from the Thursday game?
No, I would probably replace him with St. Brown.
Yeah, Detroit, St. Brown.
Detroit's
I understand
Dallas.
Go ahead.
Detroit's going into Dallas, which I don't love.
Yeah,
I still think you're in a PPR. You're starting Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's an almost guaranteed 8 catches. So you're starting him. I think the touchdown upside lies with Olave because he is the number 1 receiver.
In points per game, in standard points per game, Amon-Ra St. Brown is 6th in the league. That's what I'm saying. There's this impression that he's this PPR guy. He is not. He is a all-out build. I don't know that I'm benching Amon-Ra St. Brown in a healthy game ever at this point. I just think they're relying on him like that.
I would bench Olave then and go DK.
I was going to say, in a standard, I think I do bench Olave because I think Olave is going to have volume and touchdown issue. He's going to be high volume, low touchdown this week. So.
With Winston starting, give me all
Is he? I missed that too. Okay, see, I don't know.
Yeah.
Start Amon-Ra and
How about this? Yeah. Whoever you want, not Terry McLaurin. There you go.
Yeah, don't start Terry McLaurin.
There you go. From George, he has half PPR. Cooks or Dubs? Josh?
Cooks.
Ryan? Cooks. Same thing, all around. And BT49180. Trade away Devonta Smith and Jeff Wilson for Damian Pierce.
I'd have to know your other wide receivers. I'm leaning yes, but I need to know who your other wide receivers are.
Yeah, I'm curious who the other wide receivers are. I'm all for trading Jeff Wilson now while there's some sort of value to him, but I honestly think you could probably trade Smith for Pierce and be fine with it. The way they're using Pierce, I have zero issue with it. He's I'm
going to backtrack. I don't even need to know who your wide receivers are. I want running back talent, and Pierce is running back talent over Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I make this trade.
I would also take Damian Pierce. It's a complete upgrade over Jeff Wilson. His other receivers are Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're fine.
You have someone to play instead of Keenan Allen.
Yeah, you're totally fine there. Make the play for Damian Pierce, 100%.
Yes.
Okay, my P corner. It is the Bears Patriots. Let me tell you, this one's quick. Fade everyone, start no one. Are there any disagreements?
Do you, in a super flex, start Bailey Zappi if he starts?
100%, not even a question.
Okay.
What has shown you otherwise?
No, you said fade everyone, start no one. So I just wanted to
for the Bears. For the Bears.
I forgot we're only talking about the opposing team. My apologies.
Silly. No, yeah, I mean, yes.
My apologies. I misunderstood the segment.
100%.
By now.
His only interception is a beautiful drag route throw to Nelson Aguilar, who dropped it directly into the hands of the Detroit Lions safety.
Which is why Tyquan Thornton starts now.
That man is fast.
He is
a lightning bolt.
We talked about him on Monday.
Yeah, he is quick, to say the least. So yes, I love Zappy. Talking props, Josh, you have Amari Cooper over 55.5, and Ryan, you have Dameon Pierce over 69, nice, and a half yards. You guys are both 3-3 on the season. Okay, I completely forgot about this.
I gave you 1-1 last week, Ryan, because you did mention both Tampa Bay wide receivers.
Yeah.
So,
I completely forgot that there is a jersey giveaway happening for hitting 450
yes,
subscribers.
Oh, snap.
We have a signed, God, I hate that he sucks now, Cortland Sutton jersey. He doesn't suck. He's literally the
Sutton doesn't
suck.
Spot. Sutton's still good.
Yeah.
all right.
No, yeah.
Maybe they'll get a good quarterback next year.
It feels a little ironic that I put him as a downside and I'm giving away his jersey.
Exactly.
Can we also talk about the fact that they're paying Russell Wilson $250 million and they're running inside zone runs on first and second down?
$1 billion.
Yeah. And they're running inside zone on 2nd and 7. Why? With Latavius Murray, who they just picked up.
It's so bad.
Okay, Josh,
who would ever thought that Russell Wilson was a Pete Carroll system quarterback?
Right? Crazy. All right.
Gino.
So thank you all to everyone that has subscribed. If you do not have a public profile on YouTube, according to the emails I've been getting from YouTube, that may soon be changing because of the handles that they're adding. So it'll make it a little easier to get in touch with people, which I'm so incredibly happy for when it comes to these jersey giveaways. But in the event that you don't have a public profile, shoot us a DM. You can find me at the One Hudsonian on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Club Fantasy FFL on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at the Fantasy 5 for Ryan. That's 5 spelled out on Twitter, and at Joe_Zollo on Twitter and Instagram. I believe that's the same thing on Instagram, right? Yep. Cool. Awesome. So that being said, congrats to whomever wins this Cortland Sutton jersey, and hopefully you have a way on Twitter for me to get a hold of you.
Whomever. What a word.
Yeah. Millie Mill.
Nice.
There you go.
See, that's an active user this season.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Excited about this. Very cool.
Nice. Millie Mills, congratulations. Hope you're a Broncos fan.
So
he's not. He's mentioned his team, and I forget who it is, but it's a team that's bad.
I think
he's
might
a Falcons
be one of the
fan.
other Falcons fans. Yeah,
he's a Falcons fan.
Yep.
Oh,
nice.
Poor guy. It's okay. But hey, that's cool. Millie Mills, if you listen back to this, I haven't seen you in the chat today, but I think we usually see you on Saturdays. So
we'll bring it up.
Try to reach out then and try to get a hold of you in the next week or so. But I do want to give this announcement right now because we're now on our way to 500 subscribers. And I feel like 500 is a really big milestone.
Yeah.
So that being said, I want to give the opportunity to the viewers to decide who they want to be the giveaway for the 500th subscriber. So I'm giving
I thought you were gonna physically go on Pristine and get whoever. If it was Patrick Mahomes, you were spending
Oh no, I have plenty of jerseys. I have plenty of jerseys and memorabilia.
He's already spent the money.
Yeah,
I've already spent the money. Trust me. So since we like giving away memorabilia for players that are doing really, really well, I decided that I'm going to dig a little deep. Yeah, right. So we're going to start with a signed Mark Andrews mini helmet.
Nice.
Okay. I have a signed Stephon Diggs jersey.
Oh, Red Bills.
Who's currently the wide receiver 2 in fantasy right now.
Tight end 2, wide receiver 2.
And a signed Nick Chubb jersey. Whoever ends up winning, there you go. So whoever ends up winning the raffle, when we spin the wheel at 500 subscribers, you get to choose one of those 3 as your gift for supporting us.
No Jets jersey. Rude.
I do have a signed Denzel Mims Jets jersey if you want it, Michael.
Nice. Michael, we'll give that to you for free. How about that? You don't have to do anything. Can we actually get one that has number 2 and says MILF Hunter on the back? Can we get that one?
I might have to get creative with, but I'm sure I could potentially figure it out.
Okay. There you go, everyone. Congratulations, Millie Mills. Hopefully you're listening. If not, I'm sure we'll see you on Saturday. Upcoming show, Sneaky Flats down with IDP. I won't be there tomorrow, but you'll have Jorge, Roxanne, and Nate there. Starts a different day. We will be back 11 a.m. Eastern. TBD. Oh, so excited.
Yeah, I
don't
know who the guests are going to be this week. I haven't had that much time yet. So
TBD.
we'll get some creative.
TBD.
You are going to be there Saturday, correct?
I will be there on Saturday.
Okay, good. Just making sure I don't need to fill in as host.
Yeah, no one wants that, so that's why I'm going to show up. Okay.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. For Josh at the One Hudsonian, Ryan at the Fantasy 5, myself at Joe_Zollo, and at Bismarck Clark. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. You will see all of us next Wednesday, same time. I'll be in a different place, but you'll probably be in the same place. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next week.